So here I finished selecting all of my images and getting rid of the background. You can see how I kind of laid them out just like in the example in the picture. So now I need to add shadows because looking at this, it doesn't look very realistic because there's no shadows, whereas the bookcase has its own natural shadow. So I'm going to show you guys how to make shadows. So it's kind of a complicated process. So here I have a link of step-by-step instructions because you want to add shadows to all of these images. So the first thing is you want to create a new layer. Okay, so I want to go to Photoshop. To create a new layer, this is the button down here. So you have a delete layer icon and then you have what looks like a little page turning. If you hit that, it creates a new layer. And I'm going to go ahead and make the shadow for the vase. So notice how I drug the shadow right under the vase. And before I move on, I'm going to title that. So I'm going to double click on the text here and title this vase shadow. Okay. I'm going to go back to my instructions. So I just titled it. I drug the shadow beneath the object. It's shadow 4. Okay, I already did that. Create the shape selection by clicking on the layer image's thumbnail with Control held down. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to hold down Control and I'm going to click on the vase's little image thumbnail. What that does is it automatically selects it there. So if I were to click on, say, the lower books with Control held down, it automatically selects. Okay, you have to select the little image thumbnail. So I'm going to do that for the vase. Okay. And notice how my vase shadow layer is still selected. That's very important. Select the polygonal lasso and select refine edge. Set the feathering to 3 pixels. Okay. So I'm going to have my polygonal lasso selected. Up here at the top, you have the refine edge button. And here you have the feathering option. I'm going to set this to 3 and hit OK. Okay. Next, hold the Shift key down and move the shadow selection 6 times to the right using the arrow keys. So I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard. Okay, I'm going to have my Move tool selected. Hold down Shift on my keyboard and move it to the right. Let's try selecting our polygonal lasso. So I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to push my arrow key 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So it's important that you don't have your move tool selected. It seems natural, just like what I did, because I'm always used to moving things with it, but keep your selection tool active. All right, so next I'm going to grab my paint bucket tool. That's down here. It might be hiding beneath this gradient tool. So paint bucket, you want it to be a dark brown. Okay, so down here I have my little color swatch. I'm going to double click that one that's in the front. And you can kind of pick here in the shadow side of the bookshelf, like a dark brown. Hit OK. And you're going to take your paint bucket tool and fill it here in that selection. Okay, right there. Make sure you're pouring it on the correct layer. So you don't want to accidentally pour it on the vase layer because that'll happen. So make sure that you're pouring it into the vase shadow. I want to zoom in with Control+ so I can really see what's going on. And let's follow more of the instructions. Set the shadow to a lower opacity. Okay, so up here we have our opacity or opacity. I'm going to turn mine down to maybe around the 70s, so 71. That seems good. And you see this shadow is too tall. So next, shorten the shadow with Control-T. So I'm going to hit Control-T. I'm going to squish it down just a little bit. I'm going to hit Enter. And next, angle the bottom with the lasso tool. So to do that, you grab your lasso tool, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to angle it up like that. I need to select that bottom end, and I'm going to hit Delete. And notice how this is way too sharp. So we have to do that refine edge trick again. So I have it selected. let's go ahead and refine the edge to, again, 3 pixels. Hit OK and hit delete. So feathering softens your edges, because if you look at shadows in real life, they are not clean cut. They're always a little blurry. So my shadow here is completed. You want to go through this process on all of your images. So it should look, when you're all done, like this. Notice how all of my objects have shadows. All right. So follow these instructions. I'm going to go ahead and add the refine edge. And when you're all finished, you want to save this to your U drive and upload it to Classroom.